take full credit for my photo library.
How does your schedule, and most people don't know teaching Japan what the schedules are and all, how in your schedule do you find time to do these travels?
Well, as I said, luckily I'm very fortunate with my work at university. There are scheduled holiday times. So generally August, September I'm free. New Year for a couple of weeks I'm free, and February, March generally I'm free. So I take off. But prior to doing that, as I said, it's a constant cycle. It's a constant cycle.
As you see places, you see them from a different perspective, don't you? I mean, it's got to be, you're looking at it a lot different than a normal tourist would.
Yeah.
How so?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm with the people there. Where, you know, when you're a tourist, generally you see your hotel, you see one tourist site and another, a museum here, or maybe some other landmark there. But as I noted, over time that sort of ran dry for me because I was fortunate enough to be able to travel so much. Not that I take it for granted, not at all, but it just felt. Didn't feel purposeful.
But to get into this, you're actually dealing with the people on a one-to-one basis now, rather than just coming as a tourist with your Instamatic. You're actually in the heart of the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, that's beyond what a lot of people get a chance to see. That's why I say you see a different side of things.
Well, even prior to me getting in as deep as I am now with the local people that I meet when I'm on the road, I was doing a lot of travel writing. And I was having a fair measure of success with that. I was publicizing lots of articles and travel photos. And for me, the most important and meaningful experience was always the people that I contacted there. But now, because of the nature of the work that I'm doing, I really need those people. Because, you know, I can't just knock on the door and say, hey, I'd like to take some photos. They're going to say, well, who are you? What for? So that's how it has to work.
Thank God for the people and the contacts.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break. We are going to take a short break. In the second half of the show, and I really want you to stay with us, you're going to see some of Jono's pictures from around the world. Stay with us.
Thousands of unwanted cats and dogs are euthanized every year. The Life for Animals thrift shop in Gaithersburg supports humane treatment of unwanted pets and spay-neuter programs. The Life for Animals thrift shop accepts donations of gently used clothing, jewelry, home furnishings, and other items. The Life for Animals thrift shop is in Gaithersburg, near Shady Grove Road, between Maryland 355 and I-270. Visit lifeforanimals.org or call for more information.
I'm Lisa Hamlin, and I'm hard of hearing. I'm a member of the Hearing Loss Association of America. I feel a sense of goodwill at monthly chapter meetings. Hearing Loss magazine contains information I can use about assisted listening devices and strategies for successful communication. I even feel comfortable again at parties. Contact the Hearing Loss Association of America to learn more and to find a chapter near you.
Welcome back to Montgomery County. We've been talking with Jono David of Jono David Media. All right, we've talked about the cultures, talked about how you kind of got to where you're going. The idea, though, is that how do you pick your sites? What kind of drives you to those particular sites?
Well, in a certain sense, I kind of throw the dart at a map, and really it's kind of that easy for me. However, in the last, more recently, I have concentrated on a couple of areas around the Caribbean and in India. Really because their histories are rich, long, and for the most part really unknown by large swaths of the Jewish community. I would say right here in the United States, many people are just surprised. I didn't know there were Jews there.
Surprise!
So I like, and part of my mission is to bring light to these communities where they don't otherwise get any.
Or you might normally anticipate that it's there, probably.
Sure.
Man, can we bring the pictures up? We take a look at those real quick. You got quite a few pictures of your work. Go ahead.
This is a photo of the Ohelea Synagogue in Hong Kong. I've had the fortune to go there a couple of times. It's just a beautifully restored synagogue. This is a stained glass in the city in which I was born, Stoke-on-Trent, England.
Now, your folks currently live in Montgomery County, right?
Yes, they do. This is a synagogue in Mumbai, India. It's the oldest synagogue in Mumbai. It's called Shar HaRahamim. It's the Gate of Mercy in English. Paror Synagogue, also in India, South India, in Kerala State. This synagogue is currently closed, and it is. I hear that it will be restored, which is a very nice thing. This is as you can see from the image, it has been restored. It's a synagogue called Chenanangalam, which is in southern India, and it is open as a museum, not a functioning synagogue.
Are there a lot
Beautifully
of those out there?
restored.
Are there a lot of those out there like that?
In India?
Yeah.
There are 35 synagogues in India, but not all of them are in such wonderful condition.
And this?
This is called the Tiferet Israel Synagogue in Mumbai, one of the older synagogues there. This was the Purim holidays last year. This is Chabad House in San Jose, Costa Rica, and a little choir, girls' choir, doing some rehearsals there.
Now, when you do a shot like that, or I mean, when you do one of your pictures, what do you try to capture in this? Is there something, or is it just the moment?
Well, I'm trying to capture the moment, of course, and I think I did try to capture the moment of them practicing their singing. But I was also trying to be respectful because the fact that they're children, I was trying to be respectful, not take their faces without their permission.
Yeah.
This is a fine example. This is of restoration. This is Nideh Israel Synagogue in Bridgetown, Barbados, and it's a fine example of the community coming together and getting it restored. This is the Share Shalom Synagogue in Kingston, Jamaica.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful. One of the great features about it is you might not be able to see in the photo on the screen there, but it has a sand floor, which is debated what the significance is, but one is that it represents the Jews wandering around in the desert
Now,
for
the
40
colors
years.
here are really vivid, too. I mean, do you find they differ from culture to culture?
Somewhat, and it depends on the materials, of course. Here we've got a lot of wood, and we've got sort of whitewashed walls, so there isn't a lot of color which pops out there. Here's another sand-covered floor synagogue. This is the Mikveh Israel Emmanuel Synagogue in Curacao. Beautiful, wonderful synagogue.
Now, all are just incredibly gorgeous.
Now this is a nice example of the colors that really pop out.
Yeah.
And this was one of my, really it's one of my favorite synagogues, not just because of the richness and the wonderful architecture, but because of the story that the experience that I had there. Showing up late in the evening, not knowing anybody, and gaining access through the woman at the tourist office who had a Jewish star on her necklace, and I knew she'd be able to help me out. And the next morning, I met her mother there, and we chatted for a little bit, and then she gave me the key and said, "There you go."
It's all
It
yours.
was all mine for an hour and a half.
What's the-
Imagine that here in the United States.